Right, we're in the workshop this morning. Got the 698 in, and we've started on this rotor rake. So, taking the gubbins a bit off from the bogie. It's fairly easy to do, taking the bogie off. All you need to do is there's a plate here with 4 bolts in it. That comes off the bottom. Then this shaft comes down, and basically everything runs off this shaft. So this goes right to the very top to where the cranking handle is, which is here. And that end bit pokes out that hole. So as long as you get them separated, there's a keyway in there that stops it spinning, and it just slides off. So, and yes, don't even talk about this. I've put this onto the tractor because I don't care at the moment. I'm just trying to show you. Don't know how well you'll pick it up there. Can you see just the middle of my finger? There's some shiny bits. There's one there and there's one there, which doesn't look good. This is where that's supposed to hold on to. The other end of this, yeah, don't say anything. It's supposed to be on the end of that, and that is supposed to be straight, and that runs off the end of the bogie, off one of those uprights, and links onto what should be a bracket out at 90 degrees from there. So it's basically wrapped itself around the shaft, which, well, it's made a lovely curve. So whilst it's here, I've just undone all those. So the next thing to do is take all those apart, and these can come out, and then we get into the gubbins of it. So there's an hole down here, and I can feel big chunks of steel, which I think is probably the flywheel, the main cog. If I'm lucky, it's just the bolts that have dropped out, because I think what's happened is the bolts that hold everything up here onto the top have worked their way out and dropped in, which is where everything's dropped down and then gone bang. So, right, we'll get this down and we'll see what I can do now. Right, so the first 2 Rotor cam followers are out. So time to have a look in. So, it's not looking, initial impressions don't look too bad. There is a lot of swarf in there. And I don't know if you can see on that top. You can see on the top there. See if focus. There's a bolt pulled out of there. And it's actually, you can't see it. It's actually in the bottom, just centre there, like gunk. And so the bolts have dropped out from there. So we need to try and get the rest of these out, try and get it stripped down. I've got a feeling the main cog and the input have gone again, which was what had happened originally. So yeah, I'll strip it down a bit more and see what happens. Right, so all the cam followers are out now for the arms. So basically, there's a bearing on the end here that follows round a cam track, which then turns the arms as they pivot round the rotor. These look alright. There's a few of them with some scratches. Some scratches across the top, but it doesn't seem too bad. I haven't found any mangled ends or anything. But what I might end up having to do is soaking all these to try and get all the muck off it. So if there is swarf in the bits of steel, it doesn't ingress into all these shafts, because I presume there'll be some bearings in there as well. There's definitely a spline, a shaft through the centre, and this is grease filled. So there'll be something in there, but you don't want to steel in it. So, finally got this end off. And hey presto, that is what we've got. Well, there's one bolt. There's 2 bolts. That's a 3rd bolt. It's a big chunk of steel. And there's a 4th bolt. So yeah, quite simply, what's happened is all them bolts have dropped out of there. So what that means, I don't know. I'm gonna have to take that shroud off. So I'll have to lift this off. Basically get the tractor in, strap it up to this, lift all that. That should drop off. The bottom bit should drop off. Then that can come off. And then we can see what we've done up that way. So I'm trying to remember where the ring gear is. Oh, ring gear. Ring gear is up there with the input shaft. So hopefully, if we're lucky, all I've done is destroyed them. And basically jammed them against that. And that's all, because I don't know if they've moved up there or not. If they haven't moved up there, I'm spawning it. Right, let's carry on. I'll get the tractor back in, lift it up and see what happens. Right, so we're well into it now. That's off. That's apart. So that's the main cog, main drive that comes in through the input shaft, through that shaft, onto the ring wheel, and then converts it down the shaft. So those two are brand new and they look okay to me. Doesn't seem to have done any damage. All that's happened is the bolts have dropped out from there and dropped down. So a couple more bolts that are bent. That's a bit screwed up, I have to bash that straight again. And if need be, I might end up having to cut out the centre bit and then get those re-drilled. Made a new one. That pretty much same, that's just a plate to stop the muck coming up from underneath. And I've also managed to scrape into here as well, which I think looks worse than it actually is. I don't think we're going to crack that if I put it back in. It's a casting as well, so I'm not going to weld it. For the amount of swarf that's in here, I don't think there's been a lot of damage. So yeah, that's about it really. So just got to find out if this boss had threads in them. I don't think it did. The bolts are very loose. Stick one in, they're just sliding anyway. I can't feel the thread in there. The only thread that I can feel is in there, in the main input. So, might have got away with it. Just about. Right, time for a brew.